You can clip coupons and shop sales all you want, but if the food gets thrown away, it doesn't matter how cheap it was. Here's one way to find out exactly how much food is getting wasted. I'll be honest, I can't claim to be a well-informed environmentalist. I've just always felt like food shouldn't get thrown away. I wouldn't throw dollar bills or freshly purchased groceries right in the trash, and that's what it feels like to me when our food gets wasted. These past few months, I've been connecting with some incredible organizations here in Memphis, Tennessee, and I've been learning so much about the environmental impact of food waste. I'm gonna save the details for another post, but for now, I'll just say that I was shocked to learn that 40% of all food waste happens in our homes. That's right, it's not restaurants, it's not schools, it's not event facilities. The largest contributor to overall food waste is residential. Read on cleanmemphis.org, that has an economic price tag of about $456 per person per year. It's $348 million in my county alone. Doesn't hearing that give you pause? Well, as soon as I learned that food waste in a landfill has a negative impact on the environment, our family started throwing all food scraps into the freezer until I could figure out what else to do with it. I've always been interested in composting, but I don't garden. And without that benefit, it just felt like way too big and too messy of an undertaking, and it just didn't seem worth it. Through the connections that I've made locally, I learned that there are companies that will pick up food waste right from your house, just like your trash and recycling. So here in Memphis, you can sign up for service with an organization called Atlas Compost House. And the super bonus is that when you sign up for service, you can actually request to have compost returned back to you. Now, I don't know that I'd use it because I don't garden, but I imagine that that would more than cover the cost of the service. So I know that I sound like I was really excited to find out about this solution, but here's another moment of truth. I totally dragged my feet on getting the service set up because I was so afraid to have a concrete idea of how much food waste we were actually creating. I'd seen the size of the buckets, and I assumed we would be filling them up hand over fist, even with like legitimate food scraps like banana peels and apple cores. And once you legitimately start tracking something, you're forced to deal with the reality of what you find out. And that was really intimidating for me. If you caught my last post on our personal grocery spending from 2021, you already know that even I was surprised to find out that my family of 6 keeps to the frugal end of the average grocery spending, despite the fact that I don't shop at discount stores, I don't use coupons, and I don't generally shop sale items. Conceptually, I know that the key to keeping our spending low is minimizing food waste, but we've never actually had a way to quantify it. And I was really nervous to start this process. So I looked into it and found out that the lowest rate for collection service available here is $20 a month for 2 buckets collected every 2 weeks. That's a bucket a week, and I figured we would start there and then adjust it if we needed to. Well, here was the good news. Since we started collecting all of our food scraps in a bucket, we have a very clear picture of how much food waste we're actually producing. And thankfully, I'm shocked at how little it is. Over the past several months, our family has consistently filled no more than 2 of the buckets over the course of each month. Feels like half that they give me. And this includes coffee grounds and filters and paper towels. That stuff really adds up. So I'm not trying to act like a hero here. I'm a total newbie when it comes to actual environmentalism, but I am good at minimizing food waste. And now I have a measurable way to show it. The super cool part was that knowing that the bucket was sitting there actually encouraged all of us to be even more diligent with the food that we have, especially now with food prices getting so high. If you're wondering how to keep your grocery spending down, it might be time to consider how much of the food that you buy actually ends up in the trash. What is $456 times the number of people in your house? Even with a family of 2, that's nearly $1,000. And if you have more than that, that could be $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 a year getting thrown in the trash. There are no two ways around it. The best way to save money on food is to eat what you have. And if you live in a city that has this type of curbside compost service, or maybe even some free drop-off locations, you can save money on groceries and do something good for the planet. So if you're local to Memphis, like me, you can follow 901 Save the Food for more information about food waste initiatives. You can check out the curbside collection services through Atlas Compost House. And if you're not local, Compost House actually offers services in multiple cities in Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas. And I'm sure there are organizations everywhere that are rolling out the same type of initiatives. Just so you know, I'm not getting paid to promote these organizations. I just wanted to share a little bit about what's been going on in my heart and in my house. So I already told you it was hard for me to get started, so I get it if you're hesitant too. I really do hope that I've encouraged you to take the first step and find out what options are available where you live. And if you already know that you are going to be filling up collection buckets hand over fist, that's what I'm here for. Kitchententional's meal planning tools prioritize the food you already have. They help you create a shopping list and a meal plan that makes sense specifically for your family. I really believe that meal planning doesn't have to be so hard, and neither does doing something good for the planet.